Hollywood, Manhattan, Cheesehead TV brings you two guys who like to think they know something about football!
Hi, and welcome to Packer Transplants. I'm Corey.
And this is Aaron.
And today, I will try to convince Aaron that the season is not over. And we'll talk about what has transpired on a busy week in Packerland. So let's get started.
Where do we start? But the good, the bad, and the ugly.
We got the good. We got Greg Jennings.
Words do not apply to Greg Jennings anymore.
Brandon Jackson.
Making a case for the starting job.
Jason Spitz.
Filling in admirably at center.
And we got the bad. We got Bob Sanders.
Next.
Anyone on the defensive line not named Aaron Campman.
Next.
Derek Frost.
Cut.
And we got the ugly. We got Mike Stock.
Mike Stock, coming off of his idiotic comments to Bob McGinn about John Ryan seeing a punting specialist.
And somebody's got to look at his bio.
Have you read my bio? No, we haven't, Mike. We don't like to read special teams coaches' bios.
If I'm reading the special teams coach bio, he's about to get fired.
No, wait a second. Let me make something perfectly clear here. We are big-time Packer geeks. We know this. We're nerds. We understand. But even we do not sit around reading special team coaches' bios.
Although, when Mike Stock said to read his bio, I read it.
I read his bio, too. Exactly. But to come off of those comments and those statements and to have his squad pretty much single-handedly throw away the Panther game, he's really put his job on the line.
Well, let's talk about somebody putting stuff on the line. I do not believe the Packers season is over, and I'll tell you why. And, you know, they may get, if they get to the playoffs, it could be just like, okay? But even before that, we could get to that point where it's Minnesota versus Arizona in the desert. Minnesota is ahead.
Right.
They lose.
4th
they
and 21.
lose. We're playing Denver.
Right.
You're at that game.
I am. With my wife, first time at Lambeau.
Wow.
And, you know, the game was way out of hand. We were blowing out the Broncos. Favre was on the sideline at this point, and everyone's in the stands is looking up at the boxes because they all have TVs, so they're watching. And then I'll never forget it. We saw someone go like this, and then everyone got just insane excited, started cheering.
Yeah,
blah,
the
blah,
crowd.
blah.
The crowd
and then
told the players.
The players knew because of us. It was magical.
It's a world famous game. I think as a Packer fan, and for that era. I mean, besides the Super Bowl, it was a period of time.
Amazing game.
It was
amazing game.
Those two games happening at the same time.
Right.
Then it was Seattle. Al Harris returns the touchdown, the dagger for the touchdown playoff win at Lambeau that we needed desperately after losing to Atlanta the previous season. And then we go to Philadelphia and go 4th and 26.
And there could be some symmetry here.
There could be a lot of similarities.
There could be a miracle late season run, gets us into the home playoff game that we win, and then the defense gives the season away.
But again, not over. The season is not over, the Packers. You're hearing it from me. I am the webmaster. I am in control.
All right, Corey has convinced me that the season is not over.
Or even if it is over, it still could be exciting.
It's going to be. It's the Packers. The Packers are always exciting. Even when they're horrible, they're exciting because they're the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know. When I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of exciting.
You had Lynn Dickey, you had Paul Kaufman, you had JJ, you had Lofton. That was excitement there.
Let's talk about the goal line excitement.
Or lack thereof. I mean, you got to think that failure at the goal line was pretty much, the dagger in the season for me. I mean, it's just the complete inability. You have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball all over the yard. He's doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants for the entire second half. And then to take the ball away from him on the goal line there, 3 calls in a row, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't think you criticize play calling in those moments. You got to go.
You don't.
You got to go for the high percentage plays. And you know what? I think I kind of agree with you only because where you're coming from is that you see Mike McCarthy, and I kind of am seeing him this way. There's an angle of him that is delusional. Like, he thinks...
That is very true.
He wants, and he thinks we have a power running game and a power running team.
Right.
And he also thinks we have a really
excellent
defense and a really excellent special teams because... He plays and play calls that way.
Right.
Even though during the game, it's almost like he wants you to think that's who he is.
Right.
And then he's really like a chuck it for Jesus in the schoolyard and have West Coast offense.
The thing is, you don't run Brandon Jackson into the middle of a line. I mean, there are high percentage plays involving Aaron Rodgers. There's a quarterback sneak. There's a QB bootleg. You know, there are like slant plays. There are all sorts of things that Aaron Rodgers can do.
I personally enjoy a good fullback dive.
That's fine, but when it's not successful and then they kick the field goal on 4th down, I mean, I understand the logic of taking the points and playing defense, but when your defense has lost every single game that your team has been in up until this point, getting the points and playing defense is fine. That's a great decision in October. But in November going into December, when your defense is decimated and hasn't made a play all year in crunch time, you go for the touchdown.
Well, and that's why I got to say, you know, for me, the dagger wasn't the goal line inability. The dagger is Steve Smith catching the ball to his helmet.
Well, that's the defense, you know, and that's just, Bob Sanders needs to go. We need absolute replenishment on the defensive line. Because, you know, Thompson, he left the cupboard a little bare when he traded away Corey Williams, but there's a lot of things working against him in Cullen Jenkins being injured, KGB being an absolute former shell of himself. No one knew that was going to happen, you know, so there's some leeway there, but he has got to get that fixed.
This week in the Packer Blogosphere!
Welcome to This Week in the Packer Blogosphere, everybody's favorite segment.
And we're going to be not calling out, but actually giving a shout out to Pack One for our very first Cheesehead TV rap written about us.
First YouTube parody, one might say.
Milestones
Apparently, Pack One subscribes to the notion that when fired upon, return the fire. Because you head over. I think we're gonna play a little something.
Yeah, it's
from
playing right now. You just can't hear it in your headphones.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Very nice. Pack One, meet me here, okay, buddy. Okay. First of all, if you're gonna make fun of my hat, get a picture of my hat. All right, that wasn't my hat. It was like some chick's Nordic. I don't know what that was. And second of all, the rap is kind of weak. You gotta work on the delivery.
I liked it.
You gotta. The words were great, but the delivery, you know, it's just. Work on the accent. Work on the.
I know you're in the middle of talking to Pack One, but speaking of the hat,
everybody, you know, this caused much consternation. I like the hat. And I've gotten some support about the hat. And I've taken a little grief about the hat.
I actually feel bad because I was the one last week who said, wear the hat. And then everybody was giving you a hard time. It's even Beer Kid at the legendary PackerPalace.com. He was calling you out on the hat.
He did. He wrote a lovely email saying that I looked something akin to Fred McMurray playing Dan Aykroyd talking about the Packers.
And he
said, hey, those are two fine gentlemen and two great actors, so I'll take it.
He did say I look normal and he wanted to have a beer with me.
Yeah.
But you could come along.
But anyone who thinks Corey is normal is in for a rude awakening.
I am definitely not the normal one of us two. I will surely admit that.
Moving on, elsewhere in the Packer blogosphere, we have a new member of the generous, beautiful world of Packer bloggerdom in a Cheesehead TV staff member, Donald's designated driver, has started a blog.
Triple D, as I like to refer to him.
He's called his blog All Kinds of Time. Visit it if you get a chance. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
It is. And you know what else is good stuff?
What's that?
Us beating up on the Houston Texans.
Yes. I would like to see that on Sunday, please.
I am going to enjoy being at that game with my grandfather.
Yeah, you're going to be there.
It'll be pretty good.
So
hopefully going to have some photos.
The Houston Texans' first ever visit to Lambeau. Let's make it an unwelcome one.
Let's make it a historic one. I mean,
like 70-0, I think would be good.
I would like to see Nick Collins get his pick six delivered for a touchdown so that he'd break the record.
Absolutely. I think a great matchup for people to watch is Chad Clifton against Mario Williams. I mean, Mario Williams making everybody who thought the Texans should take Reggie Bush look like an idiot.
And I have heard people call Andre Johnson the best wide receiver in the NFL, so I'd like to see
Which
if
I
that's
agree with.
Actually true.
Yeah, well, should be a great matchup.
Well, that's it for this week's show. We hope you enjoyed the latest installment of Packer Transplants. Please tell your fellow Packer fans about us and visit us Cheesehead TV.